Yeah. All right. 3, 2, 1, and boom, we're back. Episode 5.
Hey, now.
I forgot about which
5.
episode it was. Yes, yeah, we're on 5. Okay. Welcome back to the podcast. If any of you guys did watch all the way through last time, number 1, thank you guys. Number 2, the last 2 minutes got cut off. I don't know what happened with processing through Premiere. I don't know. The video play, I rendered 2 high quality, low quality. High quality was good. Low quality, I just didn't check it and I never played through the whole thing. And there's 2.5 minutes just cut off.
My rant about dongles will go unheard.
Yes, I think it just got to the rant about dongles and Apple. But yeah, I don't know. Sorry. Not much was missed. So I'll just, for next time, I know in the future to check the entire file. So boom, there we go. Speaking of dongles and Apple, I was wrong. The prices. So today, like 3 hours ago, Apple did their little keynote that they do every single year. And the iPhone 10, 10S, 10S Max, which is just a dumb name.
Terrible.
I think they should have gone with 10 Plus. And then the 10R came out. And I had a whole rant about how the phone industry, Apple specifically, if they want to really keep up in the next couple of years, they need to lower their prices. And, well, I guess Apple is proving me wrong, as their stock prices are just going up still. And the 10S is still $1,000 and up. The 10R starts at $750, which is actually probably like the best value out of them. But I don't know, my little evaluation of the mobile game was completely off.
Tim Cook foiled you again, man.
I know. I thought they were going to take the 10 from $1,000 to $900. They just stayed at $1,000. Kept the same pricing, but the 10S Max, that's $1,100 now, starting.
For whenever reason I hear that, I think of that shitty marketing for Pepsi Max that they did a couple years ago.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So I just think having Max as the descriptor for any product just is very corny.
It made sense for them to just say 10S Plus. They've been doing the iPhone Plus for a while.
Something called consistency.
They got rid of the old iPhone look, and now all of them look like the 10s. Just call it the 10S Plus. Boom. People will be like, oh, that makes sense. 10S Max. Like, why? I don't know. Very dumb.
That's for the 6th graders to freak out over.
Yeah.
The Max. Oh.
Yeah. But as always, they're going to sell like hotcakes. I'm sure, though, with the 10S, they actually probably figured out how to manufacture it lower price for them, so their profits are just going to be higher. So that's probably how they're going to fill that little gap, with maybe less people buying the 10s and people going for the 10R, which is the new one, the kind of lower priced one starting at $750. So
the difference with the lower priced one, does it aesthetically look and feel the exact same?
Looks literally basically the exact same. It almost, pretty much, yes. It's just an LCD screen, 1 camera instead of 2, dual setup, so it can't do like the portrait mode thing. Same exact processor, probably very similar batteries. I actually have no clue about that yet, but I'm sure internally they figured out how to make it, sell it for $750 starting price, and still make a very high profit margin off of it. So I'm guessing it has to do the LCD. The OLED is made by Samsung. The OLED screens, the OLED screens are made by Samsung. Those are really expensive. So the LCD is probably still made by Sharp or LG, who makes iPhone or Apple's parts. That's probably cheaper. So anyway, just wanted to say it. I was wrong.
Yeah.
It's like the 3rd time in my life I've been wrong. It's interesting. It's a weird feeling.
Just use it as a learning experience.
I know. I will going forward. But speaking of tech as well, Elon Musk was on a podcast, Joe Rogan's. We watched it live. And I'm pretty sure everyone out there knows who Elon Musk is. Entrepreneur, tech, billionaire, started PayPal, started his own car company, Tesla, and SpaceX, and The Boring Company. He was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and
which is news in of itself, basically.
Which is awesome.
Rogan's been trying to get him on there for years. Big and much anticipated appearance by Elon.
And Elon doesn't do long interviews. Very rare for him to do long interviews. A lot of people, really don't. Well, some people I know don't like Elon Musk. I was talking with my friends, and he brought up, he's like, yeah, well, you like him because you're just an engineering nerd tech guy. But I don't know, some people just think he's just another billionaire, keeping people down. He is the man, putting us down. Like, I don't know, some people think like that.
That's bullshit, and I'll tell you why. The man has gotten millions of new people excited about outer space, which has been fleeting interest for American citizens for decades now. And he got a bunch of people excited about outer space and the potential for more exploration, and I think that's amazing. So that alone is commendable, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, and we need to put more money and research into space exploration. There are so many questions that can be answered if we can, and with Elon doing privatized space industry, reusing rockets, lower cost,
make it more affordable.
It opens up the doorways to so many more researchers or universities that want to put stuff into space, do more experiments, learn more about why it is we are here in the first place, where life came from, how old the universe it is, and where the universe will be going.
And pick up on whether there's intelligent life on any other planet, because there's billions and trillions of planets in our universe.
Yeah, and so to think that...
And a large chunk of those, excuse me for interrupting, but a large chunk of those that we've surveyed have similar idealistic conditions for carbon-based life that we've at least found on our planet. So, I mean, it would be safe to assume that with such a large threshold of potential home planets, you would have to be a cynic to not believe that there could be life on any of these options.
Yeah, it was preposterous. No. It'd be stupid. But, I mean, the chances of us seeing life, though... I used to think that, like, alien life and stuff, like, for sure we've seen it. There's aliens on Earth, flying saucers, Area 51, everything. Though, the statistical probability that there is life in the universe is extremely high. Like, there has to be. There's no way there isn't other life out there. But the chances that we have seen it or have been visited, especially in the last 6,000 years of written record, from anywhere from stone to where parchment started to come about, and written records of aliens or intelligent life, that is very low. I believe so. Because, what is it called? The Fermi paradox? No. There's a what are the chances that life has visited Earth? So there's kind of a mathematicians did they looked at like intelligent life that there's maybe 10,000 years and before they start to crumple themselves and kill themselves. We've hit about 2,000 years of civilization. So we've got a little bit ways to go, but what are the chances that you're able to time or travel through space in that time, given the in means of, the speed of light, the fastest that we know of? What are the chances that intelligent life is able to travel through the universe and also hit our planet at the same time that we
happen to be here,
are evolving in the 20 million years it took us, 26 million years, 50 million years it took to get here? What are the chances that matches up? It's just so slim. But so what were we talking about?
Space
and Elon Musk. So, to think that, Elon Musk is giving us a chance with privatization of space and creating a cheaper alternative to government funding and government launches through NASA is a great thing. So the controversy of Elon Musk is that he smoked a little bit of marijuana on the podcast. Gasps. Oh my God. Halt the press.
I paused it the second he did that because I knew it was going to be a big deal.
Oh yeah. We talked about it. We were like, that's going to be on Twitter. That's going to be everything.
And then, of course, next morning, Business Insider, every single major publication is CNN, on their front page,
Fox.
Giant thumbnail of him holding a joint, and people treating it like the sky's falling.
It's insane. And that the sad thing I found out of all that was like CNN, Fox, all the big media outlets, ABC, whoever, all talked about Elon smoking a little bit of weed. And they're like, tech billionaire Elon Musk smokes weed, like stock prices fell 9%. It was just a huge fiasco. No one actually focused on the podcast like, whoa, I mean, Elon, number one, doesn't do 2.5-hour interviews ever. He's never done that. Two, he had some interesting stuff to say. Very interesting stuff about AI, his companies, how he wants to change, the globalization of all of business and how he believes that he can help with electrifying all the industry moving away from fossil fuels.
They dip their toes into the simulation theory a little
Simulation
bit.
theory.
Rogan's obsessed with that.
And monkeys.
Yep.
Which that's what he's obsessed with too. And he had some incredible things to say. And also Elon just kind of like, you know, Joe Rogan kind of asked him like, what keeps you up at night? And Elon just shared some stuff that like stresses in his life and stuff. It's like, you don't get to see that in him. And all the news focused on was him smoking a little bit of weed.
Nobody wrote any articles about the fact that they were drinking whiskey moments before.
Yeah. And alcohol's a drug. It's just, it's insane that it's still so stigmatized in society. It blows my mind that that's what they focused on so much. And, you know,
it's not surprising, but it's still outrageous.
And what is interesting is we saw that he didn't really smoke. He took a puff. He literally didn't even inhale. You could see, like, he just took a tiny little hit. And what's interesting is how the news media blew it out of proportions, like him smoking weed, getting high on the podcast. It's like he probably didn't even get high from that. And that,
it's not like he acted any different for the entire duration of the podcast they did after that.
And what's interesting too, I look at that and go, this was totally reported on wrong. There's total misconception of how they're reporting this. And then if you look at every other thing you hear about fake news and everything out there, and you go, there is a lot of biases in the media.
As a journalist, I don't know if I would necessarily pass that off as fake news per se, but it is 100% a lack of integrity and focusing on something, not giving exactly the full picture.
And that's what I'm
like
saying.
Looking at something through, you know, a pinhole as opposed to looking at it, you know, full panoramic view and understanding the entire situation, the nuances of the whole podcast and what went on before and afterwards.
That's why I said fake news in quotes. Okay. Because how Trump uses fake news is that, because they focus on some stuff, a lot of usually negative things that Trump does, and he just takes that as, in the media, bias towards him. It's like, well, kind of are doing a lot of negative things, so maybe that is why they're focusing on that. But the same goes for Elon when they just focus on him smoking weed and just only covered that, and you're like, yeah, but it's not like he's getting high and like everything. There are controversies about his tweets, and he is taking Ambien to fall asleep at night. So there are like other controversies.
Yeah, this goes without saying. He has said some bizarre stuff on Twitter. He's opened up some weird open-ended arguments that have fed all of the alt-right trolls and people, all sorts of conspiracy theorists. It's not even really worth going into. But by no means is he a perfect guy. But to blow something so out of proportion is very indicative of where we are as a country today.
Yeah.
When a guy can literally send his car into outer space and, you know, build, granted with the help of some subsidized money from the government, you know, a successful American startup car company. He's doing the thing with the Boring Company and Hyperloop. He can land rockets vertically from space, but people are freaking out because he hit a plant that grows in the ground while on a podcast in a state where it's perfectly legal. That's crazy.
Yep. It's just...
I mean, I really challenge anybody that wrote any of those articles that were so inflammatory to look at it the way I just described, from the big picture, like I mentioned, and to really, you know, look at themselves in the mirror and say, like, was this worth writing for? Or was this me just trying to get a bunch of clickbait?
And that's what it...
Because as soon as anybody saw that thumbnail of Musk with a joint with his eyes kind of squinted, people were just like onto their computers instantly, like, I got to put this on the front page right now. This is going to generate a lot of traffic. And that's exactly what people jumped on it for.
Yeah. And it was just upsetting. I was like, damn. And me as like a tech guy, you know, I believe he's done very important things for this world so far. Mm-hmm. And people are going to build off of that foundation that he has built with his companies. And other competitors will come into the market, try to do what he does and do it better. That's what competition is all about in capitalism. So like he has started a trend for taking this world to try to wean it off of fossil fuels. And it's just insane that they focus on weed. And what pisses me off about marijuana is just like, it like alcohol is go take 10 shots and go take 10 hits. Oof. Which one do you think is going to fuck your body up way more? It's not even... Yeah.
Goes without saying.
Goes without saying, alcohol. And, I have to take a drug test this upcoming next week for a job I actually got.
Congratulations.
So, thank you. But I was just like sitting there like thinking about weed. And another thing is that Elon has contracts with the Air Force and the military. That's one thing where it's like anyone in working with a company that has contracting with military, yes, they're not supposed to do any drugs. Okay, fair enough. So maybe, yes, Elon did break a little bit of
That's
rules
still
there.
ridiculous
It's
to me,
still,
though.
it is ridiculous. No, I agree, but I guess that is the law in military.
Is cannabis still considered a Schedule 1 drug?
Yes.
So even because it's federally Schedule 1, but like statewide in California, it's
It's
anybody can go do
yes,
it.
Correct. It's alcohol. It's essentially looked as alcohol. And it's just
So
insane.
we're still a little behind when it comes to that then.
And I just think about this drug test coming up. And I just looked up a bunch of drug detection times for urine, and I'm assuming this company's just going to do a urine test, as hair testing is ridiculous. And if they did take any like hair samples, I'd just be like, you guys hired me. This is what you get the last 4 months of however long you're going to get. Sorry. Like, I'd just be like, well, they would see like the drug history and be like, honestly, we just need to get you a therapist. They're just like, yo, we're going to help you out here. So, alcohol is 3 to 5 days. Amphetamines, 3 days max. Barbiturates, 4. Benzodiazepines are 3 to 6 weeks. So that's any Xanax, Klonopin, anything like that. Cannabis, 7 to 30 days. Cocaine, 4 days. Codeine, 1. Heroin, 4 days. LSD, 3 days. MDMA, 4. Blah, 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 blah. It goes down the entire list. So you're saying that before 4 days is the max for the most drugs. So 5 days before a drug test or urine test, I can go just straight go take some LSD, find myself, go to a show, MDMA, freak out, go take heroin to cool down, go get absolutely wasted between all this on a 5-day bender, go do cocaine as much as I want off hookers and do whatever the fuck I want, as long as right before that 4 days is up, I stop, and then the day before, the night before I have a drug test, I can get fucking wasted and go in, but because it's legal, that's fine. But if I smoked any bit of weed within that 3-week period, done. No job.
No.
That is what I was just like thinking.
No job for you.
No job, no super. So I'm just thinking like that's. Oh, and then I can also. Oh yeah, I can take as much morphine as I want to, as long as it's 3 days before. So I can do all of that and fuck myself up completely. But if
Would you even be able to walk into a building after all that?
Well, I mean, if someone wheeled me in, it's not illegal to do that. So someone could wheelchair me in, I just piss there and just be like, fuck. I could be like drunk during it, but as long as I didn't smoke weed.
Are they concerned with like blood alcohol content at all?
I don't
like
know.
if you showed up drunk and peed in their thing
As
and
long as
showed that you had like a 0.25 blood alcohol content,
I think maybe
would that be a red flag?
I think maybe that would be a red
Why are
flag.
you getting drunk
Well, hold
before
on.
you-
That's your blood alcohol. That's not your urine. So there you go.
Yeah, but can't you detect alcohol content in urine?
You can. Alcohol is 3 to 5 days, but I
You'd
don't.
be like,
I
drug
have-
tests make me very nervous. This is how I got ready to do it.
But like I said, someone could wheel me in after that 5-day bender of doing everything and getting fucked off of my mind, and then as long as I didn't smoke weed, or if I smoked weed, no drug, no job,
No job for you.
no job. That's so insane. I'm just looking at the whole list. Oh my god, you could get destroyed off of all of these, but that's fine as long as I do it before 4 days. 4 days before, as long as I stop before that, you're good. So.
Well, I'm glad you settled that case.
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, I mean, hold on. It's the... Okay. So I have till Saturday. So I have some time to do all this, and I'm fine.
Cool.
Yeah. So do you... Yeah, we could go do that.
I'll monitor you.
You'll monitor me?
Yeah.
We'll do the test and
I'll
see if I
provide
can...
glasses of water and emotional support.
Okay, sweet. And then we'll see if I pass, and then we'll... Yeah.
And then you can show it in a video time lapse of you doing all these drugs in the face of your boss and go, see? This is who you hired.
This is... Yeah. It'd be... Yeah. It's just... That's so just an archaic way of thinking.
That would be a bizarre social experiment to see how they would react if they actually did see definitive footage of you consuming every stimulant and drug under the sun prior to getting
what's
accepted.
ridiculous about these drug tests too is that if you once you get drug tested, I already read in the manual. It's like we don't believe in like random drug testing of our employees. I'm like, so as long as I am sober from all that a few days before, or in a lot of cases 24 hours before, they go, good, you are a qualified citizen of society, taxpayer, doing work, and you'll do work for us. And then right after that, I can go, let's do it, and then I can do all of those again, and I'm fine. It's just like, oh my God, that's so dumb.
Formality at that point.
It pisses me off.
Well, like my sister does, for her occupation, does get routinely drug tested all the time. And I don't know, she just describes it as part of her life now.
Yeah.
Which is also kind of bizarre.
That's, yeah.
It's like, well, we just need to look through your urine real quick and just make sure that your extracurricular life is lining up with our core values at XYZ Corporation.
Yep. It's ridiculous. That's crazy. Part of our society. I don't know.
Mm.
Yeah. Kind of weird. But that's the world we live in. Yeah. Boom.
Boom.
That was a big drug rant. Going off of Elon Musk.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
One feeds into the other.
Of course, yeah. And like, yeah, and then Ambien, and was it Roseanne?
Roseanne Barr.
saying some fucking crazy racist shit.
The problem is, I'm pretty sure she doubled down on her crazy racist shit before she went to it was Ambien excuse.
Oh, I'm not defending her. I'm just saying, like, though, and like even those crazy prescription drugs that do so much worse for like society, and like weed is still just like, It's like one of them you can get just so fucked up off you can't even talk and to piss and shit yourself. Alcohol, which is legal, and then the other one you just smoke and be like, yo, let's get a bag of Doritos and play with your dog. That's like, those are the two polar ends of like what happens. Anyway, yeah, that was my little drug rant. Boom.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, it's just something that was on my mind because I have to go pee in a cup, and I'm just like, this is dumb. This is so stupid.
Well, I don't think you have anything to worry about, as far as I know.
Well, yeah, no, I have nothing to worry about, unless I don't stop all that stuff before Saturday. Then I'll have something to worry about. So,
just set a timer on your phone.
Yeah. Boom. Yeah, that was that. What do you want to talk about today, Matthew?
You know, I don't have too much on my mind these days. I got a bad head cold, and I think circulation is low up there, so I'm not running on all cylinders at this moment.
Damn, I'm sorry. I was sick 2 weeks ago. I don't think I gave you what I gave because I didn't have a cold. I just had sore throat, and and now my back. I threw out my back, and now I'm like pissed about that because I can't work out now. And working out is like my crutch because I have to get big and strong for whatever reason I'm doing it for. I don't really know why.
It's for your job, right?
Yeah.
You're a lumberjack, aren't you?
Yeah, of course.
Well, then there you go.
Yeah, of course that's what I do. But yeah, that was that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we speed 2? You should actually kind of explain the story a little bit.
Okay, well, I'm not going to point out any individual people, but at the moment I'm in school for journalism and communications and media, and one of the classes I'm taking today is a film, just basically an overall film course. I've taken a couple. I just like taking them. It fulfills some credits, and it's entertaining for me. And there's one kid in my class who
was just killed,
who hasn't failed to make me laugh every single time he comes in. First of all, he's one of those people that comes in 10 minutes late the first day of class, the second day of class, and the third day of class, which is just like, I don't give a fuck, basically. It's kind of the attitude they're sending across. But anyway, the guy comes into class, and I don't know what caused this, but for whatever reason, he has brought up several movies and anecdotes personally and just like movie references that have had absolutely nothing to do with the current like discussion at hand or what we're relating to a screening that we just had in class. So we're talking about like some film from the 1950s today, and he raises his hand and he's like, well, just for the record, Speed 2 like is not a great movie. Like most sequels just aren't great, like Speed 2, Cruise Control, just like not the. And at this point, I'm just biting my tongue. Like, why Speed 2, dude? Like, where is this coming from?
Speed 2, Cruise Control.
Speed 2, man.
That movie's hilarious.
For context, this is the third time he's brought up Speed 2, Cruise Control since the first day of class, and we've only had 3 days of class. So he's been bringing it up all the time, and then he went off of Speed 2. and said that another sequel that's not good is Flight of the Phoenix with Dennis Quaid because the original was better. So he's just ranting about sequels that he doesn't like.
There's a sequel to Flight of the Phoenix?
Flight of the Phoenix, not a remake, excuse me.
Oh.
Flight of the one with Dennis Quaid was a remake of the original.
I saw that on HBO like the other day. I was up at like 3 a.m. doing nothing, and it was on.
It's not terrible.
Yeah, it's also
It's got Hugh Laurie, I'm pretty sure, in it.
Hugh Laurie's in it. There's a few like that movie's just so like that you couldn't build a plane out of that. I was just like I from like an engineering
Suspend your disbelief, my friend.
from like an engineering perspective. I'm like, no, they're fucked.
You just have to shut that part of your brain off when you go to the movies.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Go on.
So yeah, man, Speed 2 Cruise Control. He's brought it up several times. He brought up like freaking Dennis Quaid movie for no reason. We're talking about mise en scène and different color palettes that they're choosing.
About
and then
what?
Mise en scène, it's a French term for basically like, I'm going to butcher this because I don't speak French at all, but from what I understand, it's basically like what you're putting in the scene. Oh. So it comprises everything from lighting, costume design, staging, everything. It's just like the general filmography term, basically.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so there you go. So we're talking about mise en scène, and this kid's throwing out Cruise Control, Speed 2. So I am doing my best not to bust out laugh during this class, and I've pretty much planned that I'm 100% going to get into a mild argument with this kid, maybe on Monday during class. I'm going to figure out whatever reference I possibly can, even if I have to stretch, just because like it's early in the quarter, I don't think the teacher would mind. But at some point, I'm going to raise my hand and be like, well, actually, Speed 2 is a fantastic example of blah, blah, blah. And, like, and Willem Dafoe is just great in that movie. And then to see this kid's head explode, like, actually, Speed 2, Cruise Control is a terrible.
You should make it a thing, like a little trope of the class. Just like every like other class just mentions Speed 2. Like
Speed 2 has never been referenced so many times. Ever.
You said it earlier and I burst out laughing because this movie's so horrible.
Just the title alone. When I heard Speed 2 out of his mouth today, I literally bit my lip. It was
3% on Rotten Tomato. You gotta rewatch that movie and just soak up everything. Get a journal out and like write down like weird like
every little like thing I can observe about it. I don't know. A lot of people gave Willem Dafoe shit because his character was so over the top and he was like
insane.
A great example of what people would call overacting is basically Willem Dafoe in that movie. But I think he knows that, and he took a lot of shit for it. Yeah. He plays his eyes are bugging out of his head, and he looks like a madman. That's what he was supposed to be.
Yeah, and also Sandra Bullock was in it. Keanu Reeves.
I don't know. That movie got robbed by the Academy. That was Oscar worthy, in my opinion. Fantastic film.
Would you? I would do what? I would do a lot of stupid movies for money, but also I'm not like an actor where.
You have the option to say yes or no?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking now, like, Speed 2, if there's like, yo, do you want to, like, be the most ridiculous character in Speed 3? What would it be called? Speed 3?
It would have to be, well, they've done land. It has to be air.
Air?
Or, like, because they couldn't do underwater. That'd be, like, too much like Cruise Control.
Cruise Control.
So it needs to be, we have to fly this long, but we're going to run out of jet fuel. Oh, we got to do a mid-air refueling. I guarantee someone's gonna make
that
this
was already Air Force One with Harrison Ford. Same thing. They had to like refuel the jet. I'm pretty sure they did some crazy stuff.
Well, we'll get Keanu Reeves back.
Yeah.
Hot off of his John Wick action craze, and then he'll bring Cruise Control to its final resting place.
Yeah. The best.
The best.
Who was it?
Movie from the 90s.
Wasn't it John Voight in Speed 1? No. Who was the bad guy? No. We have technology. We can look it up.
Making me crazy. I don't know.
Speed. No, not internet speed. I am not Googling speed movie rotten. No, IMDb. IMDb. Boom. I don't know why I want to like know this. I don't really need to know this. Is it Dennis Hopper? Who's that?
Yes, Dennis Hopper.
Oh, John Voight.
John Voight.
That's completely off on that one.
Missed the mark on that one.
Boom. Yeah, that was weird. Speed 2, definitely study that movie. Like, definitely watch it. Write down everything, like weird character developments, and like find any weird like sexist like remarks that go on. So anytime that your film class talks about like sexuality or like sexist remarks, there's always
a notebook of Speed 2 references.
Speed 2. That would be the funniest thing ever.
Oh, what are we talking about today? Oh, character development. Yeah. Well, actually, Sandra Bullock has this conversation in Speed 2 Cruise Control.
And you can really see that it like piggybacks off the first film where she was scared at this, but you can tell that she developed more so she can
she's
handle
confident
the situation. Speed
So
2.
anyway, I am ecstatic that this kid sits in my class. He sits directly in front of me, and I plan on updating you with more awesome Speed 2 references that he makes, because I'm sure he's done it 2 or 3 times already. He's going to keep doing it. I just need to find a way to prod him to get some better, like, I need to know why he hates Speed 2. I know he doesn't like it, but now I need to go deeper into the mind.
One movie that he picks as a sequel, bad sequel, was Speed 2, which is like, it works, but also, why? Like, why is that?
The look in my teacher's eyes when the word Speed 2 came out of his mouth for another class today. She had that look of just like her eyes kind of doing that thing where she's looking back and forth and her brain is doing its quickest processing. Like, okay, how can I, all right, face, don't make a dumbfounded expression, nod along like he's actually saying something of relevance, and then find a way to tie it into the discussion, which is amazing that she's been able to do that so far, because, I mean, arbitrary doesn't even begin to describe this kid's references.
Yeah.
So I love him. I'm very happy I get to take a class with this guy.
Speed 2. What? I was about to say something. Shit. I forgot. I was reading through Google News. Boom. Russia's theory that NASA sabotages spaceships spreading like wildfire. Wait.
Probably on Russian state media.
Yeah. Yeah, so recently on the space station with one of the supplies carrying ships that came up, there's a hole drilled into it. And they thought it was a space rocket first, for anyone that doesn't know. But
they noticed the pressure was decreasing ever so slightly.
They noticed the pressure was decreasing. They're like, something is like up here. And they found a hole and they found a drill. And they still can't figure out if an astronaut on the space station drilled it or if it was on ground. I read that they figured it out it was on ground. Like,
how would a guy get away with drilling it while he was amongst...
It was manufactured in Russia. So, like, I don't know. That's weird.
So, wait, is it a pod that was bringing supplies to the space station, or is this a part of the space station itself?
Okay, as you recall, blah, blah, eventually cruise trace
and also,
it's an orbital module. The Russian Soyuz spacecraft had arrived in station in June. So, yeah, it was a Russian spacecraft.
So how would somebody drill a hole once it's connected to a bunch of other pods where everybody's pretty much like... I feel like they don't have a ton of alone time on the space station. Maybe I'm wrong by that, but...
I feel like space station is pretty big. There's a Russian and a United States side. Russia has their own side.
I feel like someone would hear someone drilling through metal in an enclosed aircraft.
I agree. That's why everyone's like...
spacecraft.
That's why everyone agreed. Like, the theory is that yes, this was drilled on ground. More than likely, a lot of the headlines are clickbaity and blowing out. Like somebody is homesick and wants to leave, or it's U.S. or Russia trying to sabotage each other. In this new Cold War that's kind of happening. Realistically, it's someone on the ground accidentally drilled a hole where they weren't supposed to for some reason while they're doing maintenance, and they said, "Oh, fucking knowing it's Russia, they're like, I'm gonna get killed for this." So he's probably like, shit, and just put like as much like weird hard epoxy whatever it was in, and then
they fixed it with duct tape.
Yeah, and then it came out during probably the entry into space, or
leaving the Earth's atmosphere.
Launch was what I was trying to say.
During the launch sequence.
Yeah, so that's probably what happened, and then the Russian on the ground was like, oh, me, like, I really fucked up, and he's like scared as shit to say that, which understandably, yeah, it's Russia, so that's realistically what happened, but it has nothing to do with one of this. Well,
I'm just thankful they had NASA grade duct tape to plug the hole with.
Yeah, dude, that's nuts, man. Being all the way up there, it would really. You know what? Another reason we need to get space travel cheaper, faster, and get people up there.
So I can go up there?
That, I was thinking that too, but also flat earthers need to shut the fuck up.
Someone just needs to GoFundMe to get the most prominent flat earther, whoever it is, whoever their leader is, their de facto whatever.
Probably the guy that tried launching himself into space.
Well, that guy is his own. I don't know if the flat earthers want to loop in with that guy, because that guy's kind of a nut.
Flat earther, head of Flat Earth Society.
Yeah, so regardless, put the head of the Flat Earth Society, just put him up in a space pod and launch him. with the live feed. So there's no possibility of people saying that was computer generated, yada, 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 Photoshop, blah, blah, blah.
Oh my God.
Multiple images stuck together,
Dude,
stitched.
The picture of the Flat Earth Society is so stupid.
I mean, it's it's kind of aesthetically pleasing. It almost kind of reminds me of the NASA logo, similar artwork.
But it's just like ridiculous that it's flat and the sun is like above it, like just rotating around. Dude, I've seen so many stupid theories of like the flat disc. I'm gonna try to get some pictures of this up. It's like a flat disc with the sun above it, and it's like, well, hold on. If the sun is on China right now, and the United States is all the way over here on their disc, you still see the sun. The sun would be over there, but just farther. And they're like, well, have you ever shined a flashlight on a wall? And like, this is their theory. It's like, if you shine a flashlight on the wall, only one part of that wall is lit up. And you just see that it's bright. And that's where it's daytime on the flat earth. But over there, it's dark. And you're like, yeah, but if you also go up against the wall where it's dark and you look, you can see the fucking flashlight. Just like you'd see the sun. They're like, well, no, it's just so far away.
So we should just see a giant beam being cast down.
You just see a dim beam like over there. It's like the same thing as like a helicopter searchlight. It's like, yeah, you'd see the searchlights in the distance, but you look up and see the helicopter holding a searchlight. And you're just like, oh, it just pisses me off. Dude, this is so, oh my God. The debate club, forum restructure.
The Flat Earth Society has members around the globe.
Oh my gosh, man, that we live in a dumb world.
Yes, we do. We got people launching cars and landing rockets and doing all sorts of cool stuff, and then we got guys that are saying
launching cars. Though, you realize, so usually on first space flights for rockets, they're going to put dead weight up there to simulate a satellite.
Yeah, it was just cargo.
Yeah, so
it was just the coolest possible cargo you could use.
So, and people were like, well, why don't you launch a space? Like, people like argued with Elon Musk. They're like, why don't you launch a satellite and make it worth it? And Elon's like, dude, the chances of this blowing up was pretty high. So no, we don't want to launch $100 million or $80 million rocket and have a $70 million satellite sitting in there. So instead, either you're just going to put a bunch of cinder blocks in there to simulate the weight of a satellite, or fuck it, I wanted to launch my car in there because I created this entire company and these are my rules. So fuck it. Put a car up there, and if it blows up, it's a car. So that's why he did that. So people are just like, you're wasting like your time and money. It's like, dude, it's either I'm gonna put cement in there, or I could put my car and do a PR stunt, and people are gonna like it.
Pretty simple.
Yeah, very dumb. Yeah, that kind of pissed me off, but
yeah.
There we go.
So where are we at?
We're at 38 minutes. Do you want to call it?
I think we could call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's getting a little stuffy.
I'm a little stuffed. I can use a throat clearing here or there. I don't want to do that right into the microphone.
One of these nights, so in the future, I'm going to get a new mixer. So we're going to get more microphones on here. We'll get more people. I don't know if I'm going to buy more cameras. I just realized it's very dim right now. Oh, we don't have the light on. That's why. Oops. Yeah, we're gonna get some more people. Get some more drinks in here.
Yeah.
Alcohol involved. Yeah, we'll have a little bit of fun. Boom.
Boom.
Time to end it.
Let's do it.
Little tiny cast.
Yeah.
Little in between. Little life episode cast. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for listening.
Bye. Hope you had fun.